Made in India Whiskey, the Indri Diwali Collector's Edition 2023, also known as Indri Whiskey, was recently awarded the title of the best whiskey brand in the world at one of the world's largest whiskey tasting events, Whiskies of the World. The achievement followed several rounds of rigorous blind tasting across categories from more than 100 varieties of whiskies from around the globe. In recent years, India has witnessed a significant transformation in its alcohol industry. Rating agency ICRA has predicted that India's domestic alcoholic beverage sector is set to witness a steady revenue growth of 8 to 10% in FY24. In another report, the International Spirits and Wines Association of India predicts that the country's alcobev industry could soar to $64 billion in 5 years. This would position India as the world's fifth largest contributor to market revenue in the near to medium term. This growth comes on the back of a strong revival of the sector in FY23, led by a high demand for both spirits and beer. On a year-on-year basis, ICRA's sample set companies witnessed a growth of 20% in revenues in FY23 to 26 billion rupees. This growth exceeded the pre-COVID levels. So what is fueling India's alcobev growth?
The demand revival is back with a bang post the pandemic. And some of the key drivers for this growth include rising disposable income, which facilitates more spend on discretionary items, and also changes the preferences toward premium alcohol. The second being the large and increasing consumer base, so which is growing the overall addressable market for alcohol. So basically the population between the age of 15 to 60 years, which is the major consumer of alcohol, is growing. The important factor is the support of the states. So alcohol, as you know, is a highly regulated industry, and the government controls the entire value chain right from production, distribution, and pricing. So we are currently witnessing some favorable changes in state policies.
Analysts say traditional consumption patterns are giving way to new trends, and changing demographics is a major driver of this change. With a predominantly young population, the demand for alcoholic beverages is on the rise in India. This demographic shift has created a vast market for both domestic and international alcohol producers. The industry is not only poised for significant domestic growth, but also stands as the world's second largest exporter of whiskey, next only to the United Kingdom. A host of domestic brands like Amrut, Indri, McDowell's, etc. are in demand globally. The reason? A substantial portfolio, diversified footprint, and premiumization. Premium single malts whiskies crafted from locally sourced Indian barley and distilled within the country are garnering worldwide acceptance. Analysts point out the growing domestic consumer base known for their discerning taste and quality, which has led the manufacturers to refine the distillation process. This refinement has been instrumental in making Indian whiskey compete with global brands.
There's been a culture of consumption when it comes to whiskey brands, right? And therefore, you have a discerning consumer, and that has helped sharpen the proposition. And some of the whiskeys that you get in India now are comparable to the best in the world, right? Also, just R&D in the manufacturing process, right? Because you have very discerning consumers, we've had manufacturers also go through this development cycle where they've been able to manufacture and distill alcohol a lot more efficiently, as well as using techniques which are comparable to the best in the world.
However, while the industry's growth curve is heading north, it's not without its share of challenges. In the short term, the industry might face cost pressures as newer competition enters the market. Analysts suspect that the government's emphasis on ethanol production as an alternative fuel might also impact the industry's growth.
The cost pressures is a key area to manage. So if you were to see, the grains and molasses are the key input costs for ENA, which is the major raw material for manufacturing spirits. The prices of these grains, that is rice, they have rallied by around 14% over the March to September 2023 period. The movement in grain prices, with investments happening in ethanol capacities for ethanol blending, and to see that how the region would be able to balance the supply and demand imbalance. From the market point of view, there is definitely increasing competition with many new players coming in, which huge brand spends. So everyone is trying to find a place for themselves.
India's alcobev industry stands out with its diverse product range, commitment to high-quality brewing processes, and emphasis on premiumization. Following global recognition, Indian liquor firms now look forward to sustain the momentum and live up to the promise of becoming a significant economic force.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
She's working her way to the corner office. Business Standard.